The Shoreline, brought to you by Shores and Islands, Ohio, where finding your Lake Erie love is a sure thing. Thank you for joining us. I am your host, Jill Bauer, PR Manager for Shores and Islands, Ohio. We bring you The Shoreline every week to give you the inside scoop on what's happening here in our island and coastal communities. And joining me today is my sister from another mister, Megan. and you actually get to see us.
I do. Hello, hello.
So this is, you've probably seen Megan on social media before. Megan is our social media manager and has joined me several times on the podcast. And not only is it our last episode of the year, and it's our holiday episode, it's also our 100th episode.
No, huge, exciting. Oh my gosh.
Super exciting. I'm so proud and just so thrilled that we've gotten here. I should probably shout out to all of our listeners. Thank you for coming along for the ride. 2 full seasons of The Shoreline, and can't wait to keep going in 2026. But yes, this is our 100th episode. So awesome. I asked Megan to join us, and we're going to have a quick conversation about the podcast and about, 2025 in general. But first, as always, I should probably mention our sponsors. And for December, all of our episodes are brought to you by the Sandusky Christmas Market. Did you get to the Sandusky Christmas Market?
Oh my gosh. Yes. It's so awesome. It's so awesome.
I actually was there on the second weekend. My daughter was in a choir that performed on the Saturday, and I got to walk around and check out the shops and buy some goodies. Love the Christmas market. So it's wrapped up for the season. I'm sure it will be back next year. And we actually have an episode a couple of weeks ago with Chris Corso. If you want to learn about the Sandusky Christmas Market and all the fun and amazing things that they're doing. But again, thank you to the Sandusky Christmas Market for sponsoring the December episodes. And Sandusky Christmas Market is where community, creativity, and holiday spirit come alive. Don't miss the fun next year. Learn how you can get involved at SanduskyChristmasMarket.com. So again, kind of back to it being our 100th episode. We've really only scratched the surface as far as content for The Shoreline. We have tons of amazing attractions and partners and small businesses and communities that we can feature. So I know that there will be a lot more episodes ahead, and things are going to be great. But I am very appreciative of all of the guests that have joined us this year and the year before. And of course, thank you to all of those folks that listen. So we're going to kind of flip the script here a little bit.
We are.
And today I'm going to be a guest for a part of this, and Megan's going to ask me some questions.
Yes.
So we'll see how that goes.
Well, just, in the spirit of your 100th episode, this is such a milestone for you, and we are also proud of you. So why not interview the woman who does it all? So just to kick things off, how does this make you feel?
Megan, I can't believe that this has gone on this long. I'm very proud of it. I think that the partners that have been on have been appreciative of the opportunity to tell their stories and to share their businesses, their attractions, their events with our listeners. So, really, that's what gives me the most pride. And yeah, just sticking with it. The fact that we've been able to week in and week out come up with somebody to interview and put together an episode, that also makes me very proud. And yeah, so to get to 100 is a milestone, but we're not stopping here. So
you are not? Nope.
We'll keep going.
So what are some things that you have learned about the Shores and Islands area from our partners during all of your interviews?
Oh my gosh, I learned so much. I love talking to folks in different communities that maybe I'm not as familiar with, and kind of hear the ins and outs of their different little small towns and their stories. Again, I just love learning all of the new things. If there's a new attraction, if there's a new event, if there's something interesting. Yeah, I do recall talking to, I'm going to butcher names. I'm not going to remember names.
It's okay.
But I remember specifically talking to the gal from the Chef's Garden and learning about some interesting vegetables that I hadn't been aware of. I love talking to the folks that are on the islands because island life is such an interesting phenomena. It's just different. If you don't live in Northern Ohio, you don't understand. And it's so interesting to talk to the boat captains and the folks that live on the islands and kind of get their perspective on what it's like. And I think this was actually in our first season that we interviewed a boat captain from Miller Ferry who kind of talked about growing up on the island and how they got their supplies and resources. And also I remember talking to Peter Houston with the Great Lakes Islands Alliance and just talking about some of those unique challenges of living on an island that you wouldn't have thought of, such as internet access and keeping dairy fresh in the winter and those kinds of fun stories. I've been with Shores and Islands for almost 23 years, or maybe it has already been 23 years. It's hard to keep it straight. So I'm continually learning new things. I've also really enjoyed seeing Megan learn new things. And I have to tell this story. Did we tell the story already about the tour at Kelly's Island?
Oh, a little bit.
I feel like we may have, but I just got to touch on it. That has, really just been one of the most fun things is seeing Megan learn, even though she's been in the area for a couple of years. This is her going into her second year at Shores and Islands. So congrats to you for being here and sticking it out. But it's fun to see Megan learn new things. And Megan joined me on a media tour where we went to Kelly's Island. And I just took for granted that she knew where she was going and what she was doing. And she got to drive a golf cart for the very first time. Forgot to put it in park.
Yep. Almost took media into the lake.
That was fun. So things like that continuously. But as far as the podcast goes, I've appreciated every time you've joined me. Jen has joined me. Amanda has joined me. Angie has joined me a couple of times. I really appreciate those folks for being a part of it as well. And we couldn't do it without Greg.
Oh my gosh, Greg. He's the best.
Greg is the best.
So kind of throwing it back to the beginning, how did this idea for the Shorelines come about? And if you want to include a little bit too about how we made the name or how you made the name rather.
Sure. I'm a podcast person. I'm not going to name drop those podcasts, but I listen to a lot of podcasts. I'm a mom with 3 kids who are in various activities. Spend a lot of time in my car. I also commute about 45 minutes to work each day. I live slightly south of Sandusky and spend a lot of time in my car. I started listening to podcasts during my drive, while I was waiting to pick up kids, while they were at dance classes. And then that turned into, well, this is something I can do, while I'm folding laundry or while I'm vacuuming, So I listen to a lot of podcasts. Being a consumer of podcasts just kind of made me think, this is another way that we can get the word out to folks about all the amazing things that we have going on in Shores and Islands, Ohio. So I approached Ben Simon, our director of marketing, and he was new at the time and was kind of like, what do you want to do next year? What kind of things are you looking to do in the PR space? And I said, could we maybe have a podcast? Is that something doable? At the time, our social media manager, Dayton, some of our old school listeners will remember Dayton. I enlisted him to help as well, to help me with the interviewing of guests. And as far as coming up with the name, the Shoreline, I mean, we knew we wanted it to be somehow related to Shores and Islands, our brand. And I think you reminded me actually yesterday that we did put it out on social media. I think we did get some suggestions there. And then we also put it around to the Shores and Islands staff to see if anybody had any great names. And forgive me if I'm wrong, but I really think that the name was actually from Dawn, our vice president of operations and HR director. I think that was one of her suggestions. And we were just like, oh my gosh, that's so perfect. It's the Shoreline. That's where we are. And I love to use that in the outro. We always say we'll see you next time on the Shoreline, because who doesn't want to be on the Shoreline?
Oh my gosh, right?
I want to be on the Shoreline all the time.
Yep. No, that's great. And then I guess a question that I'm excited to hear is, what is your favorite aspect of the Shoreline, like from creation? Because you do a lot of work behind the scenes to prep, to get things planned. You work with Greg closely. Like, what is your favorite part about creating this and just in general of the Shoreline?
I love getting to know our partners more and being able to talk to folks that I don't necessarily always get to interact with. Our different fractions and businesses, often I'm working with the person who's kind of in my role, because usually I'm working to bring in content creators or media. And so I need to talk to the marketing person, or I need to talk to the PR person, or even, with some of our bigger attractions, it's a corporate office, that I have to work with. So I don't often get the opportunity to interact and kind of get to know the actual people behind the business, the business owners. So that's been a really fun part of it. Just getting the suggestions from our team of who would make a good podcast guest, or, when we bring on a new partner, and Nick, our partner engagement manager, will come to me all excited, like, oh, we just got this new partner. They might make, that might make a good episode. Or somebody comes from a meeting and they've met somebody new, or they've learned about a new event and they come to me and they, this might be really interesting. I get to reach out to those folks, and if they want to come on and tell their story. So yeah, it's really all about the connection with our partners and the people behind those partners. And yeah, I've really enjoyed that. And yes, there's a lot of work in it, but it's behind the scenes stuff. It's a little bit of research, but it's all things that I probably should know anyway, or should be finding out, checking out individual websites and learning about the history behind different businesses and different events, how things got started, even with like new things, like where did you come up with that idea, and why was that a need that you felt our area needed to fill? So, the research part of it is fun as well.
I love that. And so kind of being a little bit more specific to this year in general, what are your favorite memories from this whole year?
Related to the podcast or in general?
Let's talk in general. Let's go in general.
It's been a fun year. We've had a lot of success in the region from a tourism standpoint. A lot of fun things that people got to come and experience. We've had a lot of new partners that we've been able to introduce and feature. Adventure Play is one. I know you've taken your stepdaughter there, and that's actually one of our more popular episodes. Folks were really interested in that. It's always fun when we get to introduce something new. But then there's the classics like Cedar Point and Kalahari and all of those things. I got the opportunity to be a part of the Tommy Boy Fest planning committee. That was a really great memory for me as well, and being a part of bringing that festival to Sandusky and just seeing how crazy it was, how much interest there was awesome. In that. Yeah. And also I got to go to Bash on the Bay this year with my daughter and see Luke Bryan, and got to do that with Greg as well. That was really fun. Talk about sometimes you get to talk about things and you don't actually get to experience them. What our listeners might not know unless they're local is that I also go on our local radio stations every week and talk about some of the events that are going on in the area, what things are coming up. And, I'll see people out and about and they're like, oh my gosh, you get to go to everything, know about all of these things. And like, little do they know I'm at home doing laundry, or I'm at a wrestling meet, or, a cheerleading competition. I rarely get to actually experience the things that we get to talk about. So being to kind of part of Tommy Boy Fest and being able to go to Bash on the Bay and experience all those things this year, those are my big memories from the year.
I love that. And this kind of piggybacks a little bit off of that as well. So our annual meeting this year, the theme was exploring your own backyard. So I'm curious how you explored your own backyard this year and something that you learned. I know you mentioned Bash on the Bay you got to go to, but like any restaurants or anything just new this year you got to try?
I got to feed a capybara.
Yes, you did.
African Safari had capybara and a sloth. Yep. Those were some amazing experiences, and also experiences that I feel terrible I haven't taken my son to yet because my son is such a capybara lover. But that was something fun and interesting. Yeah, I don't know. My mom and stepdad live in Vermilion, so I get to experience a lot of Vermilion and shopping in their community and visiting restaurants there. again, just kind of getting out and seeing things. We also host a media marketplace every year, which is not personal, it's work, but it's another really gratifying thing that we did this year and had success with. And I don't know if that answers that question.
No,
it doesn't
that's
really
great.
talk about exploring my backyard. I wish that I had more time to do that.
Oh, I know.
To
Time
get
for
out
sure.
and do that. I was really excited to at least get to go to Bash on the Bay this year. Yeah.
That's awesome. Yeah. And speaking of that's awesome. So something.
I knew it. I knew this was coming.
Perfect segue. So as Jill and I were sort of discussing the 100th episode and what we could do a little bit differently and just chatting in general, she mentioned that she noticed. What did you notice, Jill?
So yes, I each week we record this podcast and Greg takes it and makes me sound much better than I probably actually sound in person, but he takes out both for me and the guest, any kind of thoughts, I don't know, that kind of stuff to make us sound amazing. But I realized when listening back, and I don't know why it never hit me before, and it probably has, but it just didn't really affect me as deeply as it did just recently when I was listening to actually last week's episode. Every time somebody answers a question, I respond with, "That's awesome." And I need to come up with a new phrase. So fans, give us ideas of new catchphrases.
New catchphrase.
What I can say other than "That's awesome." But so much is awesome.
It is.
Everything is awesome.
Everything is awesome.
That's
we need
actually
that
a song.
That should be the hashtag too on the podcast every
Everything
Monday.
is awesome.
Everything is awesome.
Because it is.
It
Shores
is.
and islands. Everything is awesome.
It is. It really is. Well, this has been an awesome year, and it's been an awesome 100th episode. Any plans for the next year of episodes, or what are you most looking forward to?
Like I said at the beginning, the potential is unlimited. There are so many partners I haven't talked to yet. Partners, if you're listening and you haven't been on the podcast, please reach out to us. Mm-hmm. My goal eventually is for every single listing on our website to also have an accompanying podcast, because there are folks like me that enjoy consuming content that way. I thought of a couple of other fun things. And from a proud of the podcast standpoint, one was that we had a couple from Texas in the Welcome Center, and I just happened to be downstairs in the Welcome Center that day greeting people. And somebody was like, "Hey, Jill, these folks heard the podcast," and they had literally come to the Welcome Center because they heard the podcast. They were coming to Cedar Point anyway. They found Cedar Point's episode and listened to it, and then became the deep dive into other episodes and learned more about the region and learned about Shores and Islands. And when they came, they went to Kalahari and they went to the islands, and they were, really doing the whole Shores and Islands experience. And they came from Texas and they had listened to the podcast. So that was really fun. Also, when you did the social media post for, was it National Podcasting Day?
Oh, yes.
And somebody commented that they listen every Monday from Virginia. I think it was Richmond, Virginia, maybe.
Yep.
Shout out to you. I hope you're listening. I don't remember what your name was, but that was really fun to hear. Cool. And it's really gratifying when I'm out in the community and meeting with partners when people say, "Oh, I listened to the podcast," or "I've heard the podcast," or "I'm a fan of the podcast." So that's really fun. Shout out to Lance from Destination Toledo. He also told me that he listens every Monday morning on the way to work.
Hello, Lance.
He's a Shores and Islands resident, but we got to get him on the podcast. We haven't had him yet. We did have Shayna Lee, who is a content creator from Toledo, to kind of talk about our friends over there. But we need to get Lance on.
We do.
Lots of people. See, I'm telling you, the pool is unlimited of partners, and we have had a couple of guests that have been repeat guests, and usually that's because there's something new and interesting going on, a new event, a new attraction, a new exhibit, and love to be able to share that with folks when they're researching or trying to learn about Shores and Islands, Ohio.
Well, that is all of my questions for you.
I have questions for you.
Oh, no.
Just because it's the holiday season and we're wrapping up an amazing year. I want to know your perspective as well. You're always out and about.
Yeah.
Going to events, covering events for Shores and Islands. I know that there are several that you've been able to enjoy kind of on a personal level as well, because you've utilized Frankie and some of the footage. What are some of the things that you got to do this year that resonate with you as great memories from 2025?
Yeah, that's a great question. Well, I mean, we've talked about this before too, but I think if you can humbly brag about being proud of yourself, I'm very proud of trying new things. So this has definitely been a year of growth. So between ziplining and riding a roller coaster.
Riding Siren's Curse, she did it.
I did it.
I know we've talked about that before,
Yes.
but Megan wrote after our interview with Tony Clark at Cedar Point, and he said, "Am I going to see you in the front row?" And we were both like, nope. She did it.
Yes, I did it. And it was very much a last moment thing. Like the whole time that I'm driving there, I'm like, I'm not doing it. Like I'll just get some great footage and I'll interview people after the ride. And then I'm looking up at it. I'm like, okay, it's not that tall. I could do this. And then I was like, no, it's tall. So I was just going back and forth. And then I was like, okay, I'm getting in line, walking up the stairs. I'm like, no, I'm getting all out of line. I'm not doing this. And then I saw Tony and I was like, okay, well, a deal is a deal. I'm a person of my word. I'm getting on this coaster.
I'll be there. That's awesome.
That's awesome. And then, of course, the golf cart, that was a new thing. So definitely growth this year and getting to know, I just really value the opportunity to get to know this area even more and get to know all the incredible people and the heart behind their companies and their businesses. Some repeat favorites, of course, we've talked before too. Obviously, I love the holidays. So getting to enjoy like festive holiday themed food or drink is always exciting. But
she's not just dressed like this because it's the holidays. Folks that are just listening, we're in our Christmas sweaters today.
Yep, we sure are. Sorry. But yeah, we're in our Christmas sweaters today for a reason.
But Megan dresses festive every day.
Yes. Every day is a holiday. That's my motto. Yes. And then I would say to kind of what you said, like getting to experience things with Frankie has been awesome. We gave her my work phone and had her tell stories of what she saw. So when we went to Great Wolf Lodge, we were able to experience the Snowland celebration. Yeah. And I just handed her the phone and she was laying on the ground just waiting for the snow. And then she's getting up and dancing. So it's a very wobbly video, as it should be, but it's fantastic. And getting to see things through her lens has been really awesome, and just also the bonding experience for sure. And it's been a lot of fun. It's crazy to think that it's been one full season and year.
2025 is just, it's flown by. Yes. But I mean, we had another amazing and successful Ironman.
Yes.
In downtown Sandusky. Yep. All of the wonderful events out on the islands.
Yes.
I think, did you go to Pirate Fest as well?
Not this year, but I will be there next year. And I'm so excited.
Like a Pirate Fest or Oktoberfest.
Oktoberfest, yep.
Just different things at the islands.
Yep.
Oh my gosh. It's been an awesome year.
It's been an awesome year.
See, everything is awesome.
It is awesome. But even to your point, like Tommy Boy Fest, like seeing the number of people that came to town for that and from where they traveled
and
from.
The fandom, like I remember there was a gal that had a Chris Farley tattoo on her shoulder.
Yes.
Like just people are obsessed. And that movie was filmed zero in Sandusky. So
yes,
just set there.
And we're truthfully not just saying it because we feel obligated to say it, but this really is a destination that you can come to year round. It's not just the seasonal that sometimes people think of, but even, going to the sports center to see the volleyball tournaments that are happening, or just all of the sporting events that come in there, and seeing just the camaraderie and the sportsmanship. But there's just been so many fun things to do that you're never not busy or seeing something. And I think that's really awesome too. It's something we need to break, but people need to know you can really do a lot here.
And we, both of us, I think through the podcast and through social media, are always trying to get the word out, to let people know about the things that you can do year round, the things that you can find outside of the main summer season, which of course it's amazing here in the summer as well. But fall is really my favorite time in the area all the time. And the holidays, just having the Sandusky Christmas Market and Gideon Owens Market and the lights on the North Coast and just all of the amazing holiday things that we have had just recently.
Yeah.
It's top of mind because we're in it. Has just been just phenomenal.
It has
trying to come up with another word than awesome.
Yeah. Phenomenal works. Yes.
Thank you to Megan for joining me today and for coming up with a fun way to celebrate our 100th episode. I hope you enjoyed us turning the tables a bit and having her interview me. And I hope that you think that's awesome. Before we sign off for 2025, I'd like to add a couple more acknowledgments. First of all, thanks to the rest of the Shores and Islands Ohio team, to those who joined me this season and assisted with interviews or shared their expertise. to those who suggested episode ideas and potential podcast guests, and to those who listen and support me in other ways. The Shoreline is a team effort, and I couldn't do it without the support of our marketing team, our management team, and the entire staff. We are an elite crew promoting this destination because we truly love what we do, and we look forward to continuing to do so in the new year. Special thanks to Greg Pfeiffer, who we've never really given a title to, but he is behind the scenes with me every single week, recording, editing, and uploading each episode. Not only does he make the technical stuff easy for me and our guests, but he is a great broadcasting mentor and a collaborator on episode ideas and guests and how to put this whole thing together week in and week out. Plus, he also produces the videos that we use to promote the episodes each week on our social channels, which makes Megan's job a little bit easier. And bonus, he's also an insanely talented photographer who Shores and Islands contracts with to capture images and content all throughout the area. A lot of the photos we use in our advertising and in our travel guide and on social media are taken by Greg. So we thank him for everything he does to support our organization and our mission. And he gets to put up with me, my erratic schedule, and all of our recording conundrums. So thank you, Greg, for supporting the Shoreline and for going with the flow to help make it happen. I did also want to very quickly mention some of our most successful episodes from this season. The top 4 most listened to at the time of release were Cedar Point, episode 16, The Wave at Marblehead, episode 4, Tommy Boy Fest and our interview with movie director Peter Siegel, episode 29, and Burning Snowman Fest, episode 5. So please go back and revisit these episodes if you missed them. They were all a lot of fun. And of course, we're really looking forward to the annual Burning Snowman Fest, which is coming up February 28th in Port Clinton. Stay tuned as we hope to talk to them again soon to hear all about the fun planned for their 2026 event. We will be taking a short break from the Shoreline as we spend the holiday season with friends and family. As always, you can find out what's happening between now and then on our website, via our events calendar and blog, and you can even join us virtually via our webcams. All of that is available at shoresandislands.com. A reminder that all of December's episodes of The Shoreline have been brought to you by the Sandusky Christmas Market. We thank them for their continuing support, and we cannot wait until its return next holiday season. I really do appreciate you listeners sticking with us for 100 episodes. And I hope you will continue to join us when we come back with new episodes in season 3, which will be mid-January. And of course, thank you for listening today. I wish you a very Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. Again, I really appreciate you listening to this and all of our episodes. If you enjoyed this podcast, please be sure to like and subscribe wherever you listen to podcasts so you don't miss a minute of the action here in Shores and Islands, Ohio. You can also find more information, including past episodes, online at shoresandislands.com. We will see you next season on The Shoreline.